At some time.
Yeah, all right. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First order of business is minutes from the August 11 meeting. Anybody have any additions or corrections? If not,
I'll make a motion to accept.
all right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Highway business, our illustrious highway superintendent stayed out in the sun too long today. He became dehydrated, and so he's at home nursing his dry body. So I don't know if anybody has any questions regarding the highway department.
I got one.
Yes.
Maybe John knows. What the hell is this decrease the metal guard against salt? Do you know what that is for?
Decrease in metal guard.
I don't know. No explanation for it.
Must
What it
be.
is.
Yeah, must be they got decreased here, then they got a recharger that's supposed to stop rust.
Right.
Maybe we should stay with the pickup.
Don't know. I don't, did all of you respond to him concerning the pickup truck?
Yeah, I talked to him.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him, and I told him I didn't want to hear 3 weeks from now that they got to pull the engine out because they didn't notice the brake line was rusty or needed something else. I said as long as they had all that out there, I suggest he has them look everything over thoroughly, and if it needs to be fixed, fix it now. Not in 6 weeks when we got a foot of snow. And
6 weeks.
Where you gonna put it?
Don't rush the season.
Just go home right now.
But, you know, that's happened before. Well, something gets fixed and then you need to take it back in and you pay twice the money. You know,
So
that's-
you
it's
have no
there, it's
idea.
out.
No,
It's-
I
it should
don't,
be
I haven't heard
fixed.
anything. The other item will be the paving of Parker Road should take place next week. The unit that they wanted to use was not going to be available till October, so it was too late. So they went ahead and broke up the pavement with the grader, and then they pounded it down with the roller. And they'll pave hopefully next week.
Is the grader working? Is the grader up to
Well, the
snuff?
grade, no, it's not working, I mean, it's not up to snuff, it's working in the lower range, but not in the upper range. And so he's nursing it along until the season is over where we need it. The only real problem with it is getting from one place to another, because it'll go 4 or 5 miles an hour and that's it. Okay. Open the floor to the public. Anybody have anything they would like to share?
What
Question?
happened to the pickup truck?
The pan, I think, went.
Oil pan rusted out.
And so it's a big item, $4,000 after $2,000 for the harness, electric harness. So that's $6,000 in an older truck.
Well, they have to pull the motor out to do
Mhm,
it.
yeah.
And you gotta change bolts on the manifold, because they're all rusted, the exhaust manifolds rusted out.
So it's a major item. Anybody else? If not, I can give you an update. Excuse me. The budget workshop, or we'll talk about that later, but the term will be, what's the 9th of the 29th? Workshop, is that it?
29th, which is
Just make sure.
Tuesday at 29th.
Yeah, 29, at 7:30. And the budget hearing will be on October 13th. Also, I would like to request approval of the board to attend the Association of Towns meeting in New York City, February 13 to 16.
The budget hearing is October what?
13, that's a regular board meeting.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'd like a motion to approve my attending the meeting for Association of Towns.
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Next, I would like to congratulate the fire department, certainly on the barbecue. They do a fabulous job. I don't know how many, do you know how many they had roughly? No.
You know how many?
How many dinners they served?
I think I heard them say they had 700 chickens. Or halves.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't hear
Yeah.
the number.
But it was, for the number of volunteers that they have, it's spectacular, I think. Okay, then, some other items that are still hanging fire, and that is, I mentioned these earlier, and that is we need to look at the comp plan again and review it. We had the comp plan implementation committee, and they could identify things that needed to be done. Then it's the responsibility of the board to get them done. So there's still, evidently, Henry still has not gotten any place with the state on the walking trail, which is a horrible thing. I do have a questionnaire that I just received requesting information on what things we've implemented in the historic preservation grant that we got. And I'm having trouble filling that out. Well, I'm not having trouble, it's easy to fill out because there's nothing that's been done. But it reminded me that we do have the possibility of a historic district in Garrettsville and maybe in New Lisbon. And I don't know if anybody would like to look into that, talk with Ginger and then find out what's involved in that. Is there anybody who would like to volunteer to do that?
I thought we already had done that, and she had come up with some places that were on the historic site.
Yeah, but I mean, how, we have to establish a historic district.
Oh,
To do that is you have to go through the state to get that done.
Bob,
Yes,
are you getting Virginia Sherrod's input on any of that?
yes, yeah, I mean, it would have to be,
She's pretty knowledgeable.
yeah, but I'm not sure she's aware of how the details of establishing a historic district. But I'm asking, is there any board member who would like to work on that with her? And I don't hear a lot of clamor.
I won't offer to work on it, but I will talk to Stacia Norman down in Morris, who's on the BDA board, and she's part and parcel of getting a historic designation for the town of Morris, or the village of Morris.
Okay, and,
So I'll get some
all right, and I know Martha.
pointed in the right direction, and
Yeah.
that'll be my sole involvement on that.
Martha Clarvo in Hartwick and Gloria Worrell both are involved in getting a historic district there. And then, is there anybody interested in looking at solar energy? One of our problems with this is the payback is greater under NICEAG than it is under REA, because REA is cheaper, so it would be a longer payback period. And I just don't know if it's worth looking at.
Does REA participate in solar energy?
Yes, yeah, but again, you know, it's the payback, I don't know what the payback is. I understood it was about 10 to 15 years, depending upon what you did. And with REA, it would be longer than that. So is it worth it for us at this point to look at it? Yes,
What town buildings are on REA and NICEAG? I know
Okay.
it's like this and that.
This is a NICEAG building, and the streetlights are NICEAG.
Yeah.
Everything else is REA.
So-
That's not the only available solar options for the community, though. We can try for, that's not the only solar options available for the community. There's other things other than hooking them up just to municipal buildings. There can be microgrids are being proposed.
So, but this being a NICEAG property, or a NICEAG service
Yeah.
property, I mean, we could think about something
Right.
here.
Right,
Certainly have good exposure, especially when you get these trees like locked down. I don't know, maybe they have been.
Well,
So he hasn't come this year.
I think he's waiting for the right time to trim evergreens.
Which
As
was
they
10
would-
years ago.
Well, they were trimmed once, and we asked him again this year, and he gave us a real low quote.
Most reputable solar installers are not gonna install solar panels on a brand new roof, so those trees are not a problem.
I don't know what the heck you said.
Our roof is in,
I speak English.
is in the wrong direction
Yeah, well,
anyway.
these things have, you know, you can elevate them so that they have the right pitch, and
And
I just see them going up everywhere. If we
Yeah.
don't, like, get somebody on site to evaluate, I mean, then we're all just, you know, doing the best guess we got.
Right. Well, I'm asking, is there anybody who would like to explore that?
I would, but I would have a possible conflict.
Oh, okay.
When you say explore, how
Find
far
out
does that
who
go?
who is in the area. You're
There's one in
family
Milford,
still
there's
involved in
one
solar,
down the road.
Barry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would prefer to use somebody in town if we have somebody, and we do. So that would be a place to start, certainly.
Sure.
See whether it's,
I'm getting in touch with you.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You want to get in touch with me? I guess I volunteered. Okay, so, and his name again?
Ken Stabler?
Ken Stabler, right? Okay. That's pretty much what I had for tonight. Martin Tillipore, our attorney, called me tonight and said he had the local law regarding the override of the tax cap. Our tax cap this year is set at 0.73%. That's what we are allowed to go over from last year. So we take last year's taxable amount, and add 0.73% to it, and that's what we're allowed to spend this year. And I just don't think we're gonna get it done with the repair to the grader and other items that come up. The health insurance, we were notified they were looking for an 18% increase in health insurance. So how you marry all those things, you know, you could take, for instance, forget about dust control. We'd hear from people who are upset about it anyway. But dust control, that costs $8,000 one round in the town. So if you eliminated that, but that's still not gonna make up for $25,000, $30,000 repair to the grader. And so those are things that we have to look at. So I'm recommending that we, and Martin said the same thing, enact the local law. And if you need it, it's there. If you don't need it, you don't have to implement it. But just to have it available in case we find out when we're going through the budget that there's no way we can keep it in 0.73% increase. So each of you has a copy of it. And what it does is it just allows us to exceed the 0.73% if we need to. So,
And this, you should add, is only for this year.
Right.
yes,
You have to do it every year.
Right.
yeah. So, is there anybody who would like to talk to this?
I don't see where it's gonna hurt anything to have it,
No,
you know. I mean, if we need it, we've got it.
yeah, that's the idea.
Mhm.
Any questions on this from the board? Yeah. While you're reading, I went over to pick it up from Martin's office, and he's deeply involved in a land dispute with Indians up in Oneida County. And,
At least you don't have to worry about being scalped.
well, the Indians told him they'd figure out a way to use what little fringe he has if he lost the suit. what's happening is that the governor and the leader of the Indians made a deal, and they were going to hand over certain properties, including the homes of these few Indians who are left. And they've been on their families have been on the property for 400 years or more. So they're challenging this, and they're trying to fight the state and Heilbronner. And Heilbronner is not considered a true Indian by them because his mother was Puerto Rican, I believe. At any rate, and it's interesting to get their take on it because they're all, I think the youngest one is 57 years old, and it's a matriarchal society, and the two remaining women in the group are beyond childbearing years, so the guy said, you know, let us live here and die here, and then you can do what you want with the property. So what happened was he had it all set up, and they met today, and they found some mistakes and the Indians were talking about the white man's maps were wrong, so they don't trust them anyway. And anyway, that's why Martin isn't here tonight, he's dealing with that. So, would you care to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay,
No, we're gonna hold a public hearing on that
yes.
in October.
At the October meeting, right.
And you said you didn't get through our employee handbook.
No, he's still working on the employee handbook. He
I
took it
imagine
with him
it's
on
riveting reading.
Oh, yes. Well, he took it with him on vacation, and the weather was so good, he decided he wouldn't do it, so I said I didn't blame
Please,
him.
Charlene, you should take that personally, shouldn't you?
Well, that's what the Edmondson guy said, how long it would take for them to get it through their attorney.
Years.
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 Because they kept changing attorneys.
So we're ahead, I guess.
Okay. Handbook review should be ready for next month, hopefully. Correspondence.
Okay, we got notice from the Department of Public Service that they're holding some information sessions. One is on low-income programs offered by the major electric and gas companies, and one is on the joint petition submitted by Time Warner and Charter Communications to merge. So if anybody's interested, this tells you when the hearings are. There's nothing local though. Nobody's retiring, we've already kind of retired, we don't have to do any of that. Oh, well, this week we were supposed to respond to by August 31st if we wanted to do anything with this Mohawk Valley Economic District questionnaire, which we didn't. Do you have any projects that would qualify? I guess we don't worry about that. NYMER has a fundamental of boiler and electrical system maintenance seminar going on. What is it? Holiday in Oneonta, Thursday, September 24th. You get light breakfast. Huh?
What are the hours?
8 o'clock registration, it goes 8:30 to 2. Lunch will be provided at the hotel and you get a light breakfast.
There you go, 2
You
meals.
can learn about boiler and electrical system maintenance.
Boiler and electrical,
Yeah,
all I know is when it starts steaming, run like hell.
you call somebody.
If it's electrical, don't touch it, you don't get electrocuted that way.
We got a certified mail to do with Farmers Fund Grant Program. I guess they're obligated to notify us, and we do have actually somebody in our town who's getting a grant through it. The goat farm applied for money to expand the milk house and purchase of equipment to improve milking. So they got a grant of $29,121. So that's good. And the hearing is in Albany on September 15th. We got a notice from Suburban Propane. They inspected our propane tank and they want to replace it. So you need to call and set up a date, we can have this.
Why do they want to replace it?
It's defective and it needs to be replaced. It's not gonna cost us to replace it unless they find errors with our hookup or something.
Okay.
Yeah, but we pay rent on it.
Right, that's what, they're not charging us for replacing it.
Why
Only if we have an error on our hookup, it
Why
says.
don't we own our own tank?
I don't know if you can own your own tanks.
You
Right now.
can,
You can.
but
it's
then you're
very
responsible.
Then you're responsible for having it tested and everything too.
You can own your own tank, but then you're responsible for testing it every 5 years.
And replacing it if it's deemed
And if
necessary.
it fails, then you have to buy a new one.
Right.
The price of a new one, you can get a new one every 5 years.
What does it cost, you know?
You get them right down below, it ain't much over $100 for a 100-pound tank.
You wanna look into that? Okay, come back next meeting and talk to us.
Okay, one more thing.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Talking about energy. Otsego County is embarking on an opportunity to form a regional renewable energy program open to qualifying municipalities in Otsego County through MEGA, M-E-G-A, is that the one?
That's the one the county's going with.
Right, the county is interested in determining the level of interest from local municipalities. So we have to let them know by the 18th if we're interested in looking into this.
This month,
Yes.
I love the way they give you such a heads up.
Well, what's the date on
August 24th.
All they're doing is,
But we don't have to, like, we don't have to commit to it, but at least if we're interested, we should, and maybe getting some information.
won't hurt to do that, I would think.
No, and
Since we're not
the
committed to them.
Association of Towns also has a company they're involved with, and they would like to see our, the charges we have for electric service.
Okay,
To see
so
if they can
I'll
save us money.
email Karen Sullivan and tell
Sure.
her we're interested.
Yes,
Okay. That's it.
okay. By the way, I did talk with the people at East Marshall, and they said we could move the outside tank to the inside, put it in the entryway at the back of the community room, and they would take care of the move and everything. All we would have to pay for is about, I think he said $150 worth of materials. And other than that, they would take care of the move and venting it outside. And I said, what are the chances of an odor coming from that into the community room? No, it wouldn't happen. And so it's safe and it would be good. Talked to the code office and they said that it would be all right with them, certainly it's acceptable. So, if
You want a motion?
You
yes.
haven't talked to the code office yet, have you?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I did. And yes, they said it was okay. So, yeah, I would be willing to have a motion to that effect.
Well, I'll make it.
Okay. Contract, Reese Marshall and.
Well, I mean, this is a typical Democratic Republican argument here. He wants us to buy our own tank, and then we want to move their tank into the building.
No,
The-
our,
This is our-
Propane tank
the
versus
fuel,
fuel
fuel
oil.
tank, now we're talking fuel.
Get with the program.
Trying to save money, John.
Okay, so I will contact them.
So we got a motion by Joe to go ahead.
Oh,
and-
sorry,
and
do we
move
have a
it.
second to that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
They didn't say there was gonna be a problem with it being our handicap door, and it's not gonna be a problem.
No, we measured, and it fits in the corner, in the side there, so it would not impede.
I'm just curious, what's the advantage?
50 cents a gallon,
That's a big advantage.
yes. Instead of having kerosene, which you have to use outside, it goes to fuel
Plus,
oil,
it's not sitting in the corner of the driveway.
and that's a hazard.
Yeah.
Somebody backs into it. or whatever. Yeah.
A lot of hundreds.
So that's a good advantage.
Take a grab.
Um,
just- They're gonna have to be careful.
Is there anything else that you have to say on that or not? You're okay? Okay. We need to have a motion to approve paying the bills.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Next item, Richard Eldridge's term expires on the Board of Review on the 30th of September. I haven't talked to him. Did you talk to him? Okay, let's appoint him If he doesn't like it, he'll
He's
let
not
us
here.
know.
He's not here.
He's not here.
No. Well, it is something, actually, it's a paid position, so the worst part of it is to have to sit here for what, 4 hours? And,
I need snacks.
Eat snacks.
yes,
I wasn't there this year, don't blame me.
Well, he
You
still
missed all
has
the
snacks.
and listen to stories.
Oh, my God.
I had that this morning for an hour.
Okay, so may I have a motion to appoint Richard Eldridge?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Want to set the date for the 2016 tentative budget presentation workshop, and the suggestion was September 29, Tuesday, September 29 at 7:30. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So carried. Okay. Any other old or new business?
Yes.
Yes.
Has Bill replaced Vic?
No, he thinks by the end of the week he'll have his choice made. He's had 5 applicants, and he has a couple more interviews he wants to do.
I also have something about Victor.
Yes.
How long was he with us?
It's like 79.
37 years or something like that.
Shouldn't we like give him a
Big
citation or
knowledge,
something?
yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we at least,
Recognize
Recognize his service to the community.
Yeah.
certificate.
I'll second that motion.
citation or certificate or whatever.
Okay, the fellows did take him out to lunch on his last day.
Gold watch, can we afford a Rolex for him?
Timex, maybe.
Get your Rolex.
You know, it's unfortunate, but you can't do that in a municipality.
What do you mean it's unfortunate? I don't want to buy a $2,500 Rolex.
Maybe he'd be happier with Timex.
Yeah.
We would.
If I'm retired, I don't want to have to look at the time anymore.
Could we ask him to come to the next meeting in October and present him with it with,
Sure.
you know, I think it would warrant
You want to
5
give him an
minutes of their
invitation?
time
Yeah?
to,
Did we finish that motion? I had a first and a second.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay.
Ben,
Yes,
we done with that?
yes.
Lenny Malile said that he would replace that post at the
Yes,
playground for $150.
we can do that without a motion because there's money left over in the
I
recreation
still have
fund.
money left in our
Okay, well,
recreation account. I'd be
somebody
willing
needs
to pay
to
for it. If you guys approve it.
contact him tomorrow
Yeah.
and tell him to go ahead and do it then?
Yeah, if you guys give me the approval to go
Well,
ahead and do
we,
it. It's still,
Oh,
I would
right,
like your
yeah.
approval.
okay.
I'll make a motion.
Motion and
Yeah.
second?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we
Except,
ask Lenny to
Yeah.
go ahead and put the poll in for $150.
Okay.
do we have a
When do
poll?
we need a poll?
I have one, but it's getting it here that would be difficult, so. REA might have an old one that they have around.
Okay.
Actually, this is Nison's, so we should ask Nison. I'll let him search out a poll, ask him if he would do that. Okay,
Okay.
anything else?
Bruce Massis would like
Oh,
approval
sorry.
to apply for a grant program again. He says there's like $30,000 appropriated for courts to do stuff. So he would like to do an enhancement of his security cameras, carpet in this room, and a new desk, and that's what his goals were.
And it
No.
would be, and it would be about $6,000.
It's
No.
just a grant. If he doesn't get the grant, then he won't.
Wait, the carpet in this room will be crap and then it'll have to be clean, you know.
What is the purpose of carpet?
So when they bow, they'll scuff their knees.
To absorb some of the echoing.
Could get some tapestries on the wall or something.
We went through this in the big room, and we finally put in
Exactly.
acoustic tile.
In the wintertime when we're coming in
And
and
with
out of
mud
here.
and wet.
Yeah, probably is easier on the custodians to keep this clean than.
It's a road map that it is to.
Well,
We
I don't
have
know,
to
I
consider
don't
buying
know.
a shampoo, or if we had
Right,
room like
no
this.
rugs, that's ridiculous.
Okay,
I don't know if we can customize his grant to specifics, but if he wants money to put a rug in here, I don't know. If he-
okay.
For the
then-
rest
Tell
of
him
it,
we don't want no rug.
we don't want no diddly darn rug.
And and actually, it's, the state requires a formality of approval from us with a formal
Supporting him
resolution.
applying.
Um,
I don't have any problem
Yeah,
that his
this-
money's not coming out of the town's pocket
Right.
and where that he dresses up the place. I have a problem if he does something that costs the town more to maintain
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's what I have a problem.
the state gave us a computer for his office. And in the process, that was a gift horse, because each year we have to pay for the upgrade
Right.
software, and it's over $1,000 now. So,
Well, but wait a minute, if he
Yeah.
gets the rug, maybe he could work in a shampooer into the,
Then we'd have to have somebody
No,
shampoo it.
I don't think you can.
Well, Robin asked for a shampoo,
well, she did ask for
and
one.
Bruce had his office and yours cleaned. It wasn't very expensive,
No.
but it'd be an annual expense.
Why don't we just have him send some of these items to community service, and part of the community service is they vacuum the rugs.
Well, no, because we've got a custodian that's supposedly doing
Somebody's
that.
got a supervisor.
But
You want a
She
supervisor?
did ask
Yeah.
about a shampooer, not that expensive.
No,
Well, but the
we can tell
shampoo-
him to get a shampoo.
But the shampoo, a throw rug, and a lot of them you can use on this tile is one thing, but to do a whole room,
Right, that would be
especially in the winter.
a bigger, yeah, with people coming in
And
and out,
drying
so.
it in this room is not gonna be that easy.
No.
No.
No,
You
I
gotta
would
put your
say,
heat up and,
yeah.
Okay, so we'll
right,
approve
so
the desk
Flash,
and the enhanced security system,
I'll make a motion.
not the road, okay?
Wait a minute,
Yes.
hold on a minute. What the hell is an enhanced security system? We gonna have a walk-through metal detector out there?
I don't know.
It's,
Well,
it's
we
something,
do, I'm not for that either. If somebody wants to shoot him or me or anybody else, all I gotta do is stand out there in the cornfield and do it.
Maybe
They don't
we
have to
should-
come in here.
well,
Let's
Well,
ask
what he
him
has
for a
now is
definition
that when
of
he's in his
enhanced.
office, he has it on and he can see people coming.
That's fine.
And I don't, he just wants to enhance what he's got. He just got the base model last time, I guess, and now.
So maybe we should ask him what his version of enhanced and,
Yeah, he didn't say, I just said he had to tell me what he wanted,
Right.
because you guys last time
Yeah.
questioned
right.
that, and he's gotta get the approval in or he's not gonna be any
Right.
good.
Well, I would like to know what the enhanced version
Right.
is, yeah.
I mean,
could we then offer an approval of his applying for the grant based, and then
And
make
but
a
he'll have to
condition on-
contact you
Further
guys
description of
first.
the
Yeah,
enhanced.
right, okay.
Yeah.
I would prefer to do that because we may miss the.
Right, otherwise
We'll
I'm
come up here with a flight of drones and snipers and this.
Okay. All right, I got a first on that from Joe. Did anybody second it?
I'll second it with those stipulations.
Okay.
Provision, okay.
Did we vote?
Vote on that then, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Do you have anything else? Okay. We want to open the floor to comments from the public if you have any.
I might comment that with the problems you appear to be having with the budget, it might be a very good time to consider not replacing Victor.
Okay, do you know what that would mean in terms of the time it takes to plow snow, for instance?
I know that we have to pay the person that we're gonna replace, and we're gonna have to pay for their benefits, and we're in a budget crunch, so it might be a good time to look at it. I'm not saying do it, I'm saying look at it.
I've looked at it, and Bill has looked at it, and right now, with 5 routes, it takes 4 hours to do snow clearing. And that means they start at 4 to be finished by 8 to get the school buses through. And so that's a significant factor right there. Could you hire somebody part-time to do that? Not very well. It's hard, it'd be very hard to get somebody to come in and pay them just the hourly rate with no benefits. So we can look at it certainly, you know, at budget time.
They've done that before in this town. They used to do that all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know things have changed in the last 30, 40 years.
The problem
Unless
is that we
someone's
have
injured, they do.
the county and the state roads just those alone, people expect a clear road all the time. We can't do that. But we've got, and people today, used to be that you said, okay, if I can't get to work, I won't go. I'll go in late. You don't do that anymore. People
Drive slower.
Okay.
No. Shades on.
start early.
Even everybody and their brother here's got a tank moving one person. I mean, no one.
So,
I never said I can't go to work. I said, start earlier, I've gotta be there.
yeah.
No.
And we used to use tire chains too,
Oh, yeah.
the old days.
We have discussed that, and it's been thrown around, you're not the first person to.
It crossed my mind.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's an opportunity.
Yep, yep.
Discussed.
Yes, but do they need the fifth person in the summertime too?
You have to
For
remember
certain
that
projects?
we have people who've been on staff for quite a time, and they get 4 weeks of vacation maximum.
So you need the fifth person in
At
the
any
summer?
time during the summer, I calculated one time with Butch Jones that we would have 2 guys working. Now, you could have 4 guys working and then another week with nobody working, but that's what it averages out to.
And here again, I would point out that many industries have a 1 week to a 2 week period where they shut down and they say, everybody takes vacation now.
And then what do you do with an emergency?
You call them in if you have to, but other than that, it's
The
vacation.
problem is trying to be able to make plans for what they're going to do. And this is very difficult. In this
You're
case
not
now,
gonna like my next statement. That's part of being a manager. You've gotta work those things out.
and one of the things that happens is that if you wanted to do something as a family, for instance, usually there are 2 people in the household, they both work. And the times that they match up for time off doesn't always happen. So there are impediments to that.
Damn, life's a bitch, isn't it?
It's not the town's job to facilitate family vacations though.
Okay.
And a comment you made, the vacation policy is going to change. We're looking within probably 5 years, nobody's going to be left on the road crew except for Louis. Okay? And if we hire somebody now with the same outlook of how things are done now, we're going to inherit all those problems well past those 5 years. So, and if you're saying that 5 guys take 4 hours a piece to clear all the roads, and you take that 1 guy away, and split, that comes less than an hour more added to everybody on the road, the 4 remaining people on the road. They gotta get up a half an hour earlier to start plowing the roads. It's still gonna be less money.
But Ed, if we have a mandatory shutdown, we still have to pay them for their vacation time. It would just be when we told them to have their vacation.
Then you don't have to worry about it.
And then also when.
You're not
when
covering
there's
for people that
an
aren't
employee
there.
that's injured for whatever reason, the guys do pick up the slack
Yes,
and they do
yeah.
get the job done, so it's not unreasonable to think that they couldn't do with 1 less.
Well, you also got a highway superintendent now who plows. We haven't always had that.
Right.
No.
So if you only had three
Three.
guys out there, it'd take you a lot longer to do the town. And that could very well happen,
Mhm.
because the highway superintendent doesn't have to be out there plowing. He
Yeah,
just
well,
supervises.
if somebody supplants Bill in his position, we don't have to pay him the same either. So if he doesn't want to plow, he gets doodly squat. He gets the bare minimum. We'll see how fast he changes his attitude.
I watched that one time. when Dave Harbour was in his highway superintendent.
Well, the other thing is, in 2 years, we won't have enough money to pay anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
So there's gotta be
You know,
something
big
done.
sale on snow blowers and shovels.
I'm gonna corner the shovel.
One of the difficulties is that we do serve the population in the community. And are you willing to go out and tell people,
Yes,
Oh,
have them
okay.
come to town meeting, lay it out, we'll get the figures, and not just suppositions, see how much we'll save, how much it could possibly cost us, and see what they have to say. They're gonna bitch either way, they're gonna bitch if the snow's not removed, and they're gonna bitch if there's taxes go up. One of those 2 things is gonna happen,
yes, well,
you know?
this is one of the reasons why I was looking for the local.
It may be both of them. are
Yeah,
gonna
I
happen.
mean, they're always gonna complain, and the taxes are always gonna go up.
Yeah. Okay, anything else from the public? If not, I would be, I wanted to let you know that the senior citizens did go on the boat trip on the Erie Canal. And it was a very pleasant day. It was, I actually went with them, being a senior citizen myself. I qualified for the trip, so they paid their own way. But it was a very good day, a very pleasant day. People got out, got a chance to visit with each other. It was worthwhile, and I think Kathy Rizzo did a lot of the arranging for this, and so she deserves a great deal of credit for that. And people did, even people who were quite disabled were able to make it onto the boat and enjoy it and get back off the boat.
Where did it leave from?
Herkimer. It was Erie Canal. We went down to the first lock, and then we went in the lock and went down 20 feet. They opened the doors, turned around, came back in, went up 20 feet, and came back. And plus, the whole trip was narrated and gave history, and it was very well done. 2 weeks ago, I was up in Clayton, New York, and went on the boat tour out to Bolt Castle. And that one, the narrator was so busy telling us the gossip of each little island and who lived there and who was there with somebody else and on and on. Crazy. So it was much more educational to go on the Erie Canal than it was on the boat trip to Bolt Castle. Okay. Do we have any further business? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So carried.
Witnesses. It's at the same time.
Yes.
There's this.
Next month will be longer. We'll do public hearings.
Electric cigarette.
That was a stylus with my iPad.
You didn't-